Hey, Ravings and Cravings here, otherwise known as Ruth Hartunian Ellenbaugh, bringing you yet another culinary adventure. This is so exciting. Those of you who are on the radio, hi, good to be here with you live in the studio at WILI. I'm in the studio here with Camden Tedford Coles. On my left, your right, if you're going to see it on YouTube later. And on my left, Grace Spruance, who is the bar director, but I like my name.
I do too.
I do too. So I'm calling her the Maven of Libation.
I think that's going on Instagram.
I think it's gonna. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't mind if you use that.
Okay, I'll tag you.
So she and Camden are
Correct,
are at Stone Row Kitchen and Bar right on Main Street here in Willimantic, and they're going to talk today about drinks, about cold things. Wait, are some drinks hot?
Yes, there are hot cocktails.
All right, so we had a little conversation before we started, and it was an enlightening thing to me that you said that all libations are called cocktails, but there are other things too. So can you just talk a little bit about that?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
So basically anything with one of the main alcohols, vodka, gin, tequila, rum, whiskey, or liqueur, or an after-dinner libation like brandy is going to be a cocktail, as long as it's mixed with one other ingredient.
Oh,
it
so
has to be mixed.
That's what makes it a cocktail.
And then there are categories of those cocktails.
So what about, what's a glass of wine?
And that's just a glass of wine.
That's not a mixed drink.
No.
Okay, so it has to be mixed.
It has to be mixed.
But you're also called something else besides a libation person, right? You're called is it a...
Mixologist, I guess, is the technical term.
It is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing that?
Well, I got my bartending certification when I was 22. And I took a break, obviously, to have kids and, become a grown-up, and then came back.
Did you arrive yet on that?
No.
Okay.
I think I'm still working towards it.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, definitely.
We're good. Go on.
And I started working at Stone Row almost 3 years ago now, and have been in the bar that whole time. And a couple months after I started there, Andy let me take the reins on designing the cocktails, and I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah. Camden, what are you doing there at Stone Row? Tell us.
I am Grace's bar lead, so I pretty much enforce all of her drink recipes. I will help with cocktail lists. I keep the bar spick and span for her. I help train new staff onto the bar, and I work on guest relations, relaying what Grace is working on with people.
He's the face.
I am the face behind it.
He's the
yeah.
face. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So when you come into Stone Row, you're going to see him rather than you, or both of you?
Well, so I have bar nights that I do. I will do Thursday nights are pretty much my dedicated bartending night. Moving forward, I'll be doing Wednesday nights too, but that's a secret as to why I can't drop that yet. But you'll have to pay attention to our social media to find out. Because Camden has a special project that he's going to be starting soon.
I'm very excited about it. It's gonna be good.
I don't like...
I know. Well, you know what? It's gonna drop this week. I should have gotten permission from Andy to drop it today, but it's all right. It's all right.
All right.
So I will be doing Wednesdays and Thursdays, but then I'm usually, on the floor, helping make sure things go smoothly. So Camden is the face behind the bar, and he does a great job making sure all the cocktails come out great. Yeah.
And how long have you been doing that?
I have been doing this since I was 18. I got straight out of high school, and I saw two paths for myself. And I decided to give bartending a whim. And being 18 as a bartender was really difficult. I had to do a lot of reading because you can't really do tasting at that age,
Because you're not 21.
Yeah. You pick it up what I'm putting down. Yeah. But I'm 23 now. I've been doing it for ever since then, and I love it. I'm learning every day, and I'm very passionate about it. And I now work with Grace, and it's been an awesome experience.
Yeah, the world of beverages is big. It's a big world.
Yep.
Well, can you tell us what is your favorite thing that you like to make for yourself, Grace?
Well, all right. So what I like to make for myself at home, I really do just enjoy drinking spirits on their own.
Okay, so what's a spirit then?
That would be, like I said, like a whiskey, a gin, etc.
Just straight?
Just straight over rocks. I'm a whiskey drinker. I like mostly rye, some bourbons. I do like Irish whiskey. And I've kind of gotten into more of I don't know, Camden. Give me a. I've kind of gotten into those more bitter Amaros.
Yep. She's
Campari.
Yeah, almost like floral, but like
Yeah.
got sweet and bitter at the same time.
Yeah.
Almost, it's very like eclectic, but
Yeah.
super complex. Very interesting
And
flavors.
where do these things come from?
It's really hard to kind of like describe. I guess maybe a chef would feel the same way if you asked them as well. But I do pay attention to the current like cocktail trends. Even though a lot of times I don't necessarily love or agree with the current cocktail trends, I do try to honor that because a lot of times in hospitality, that's what customers are looking for. But for me, the bar culture that I try to cultivate is one where I would love to come in and get any of the drinks on our menu.
Okay.
So you are going to get a little bit of me and a little bit of what is popular at the moment. Like we just did a full run of tiki cocktails for the winter. Tiki cocktails are having a moment right now, but we definitely put our Stone Row spin on a lot of them.
Ooh, what was that? What's your spin? Or is it a secret?
No, like when I say Stone Row spin, I say we make a lot of things ourselves. You know, I make our coffee liqueur for our espresso martinis. You know, not every week. Mostly, I think I usually run out like every 2 weeks and I have to make it again. We're doing a tea liqueur right now that I made in-house. I make chartreuse for the bar.
That's my favorite one.
Thanks. I make
so
all.
good.
What is chartreuse?
So
What
chartreuse is a liqueur that's usually made in France at one specific monastery, but the monks there have decided to stop making it as often. So there is currently a shortage and bottles are going for like $50. So it's really, really hard to get. And there is a French mixologist who teaches a class on how to imitate it. And I took the class and I imitated and we have it at Stone Row. It doesn't look exactly like chartreuse because chartreuse is processed and colored. So ours is a little bit more golden instead of that like bright green color. But it tastes pretty close to the original, I have to say.
So it's like you have international flavors, you have culture, you have stories from
I try.
that come together and converge onto this thing that someone is drinking.
Yes, I feel like cocktails do have an awesome history and really unique stories, usually for each one. And even, like I said, liqueurs in and of themselves can have awesome histories. And a lot of the small distilleries that we choose have really cool stories as well.
So where can people find these great drinks and what are the hours that they can find them?
So we are open Wednesday through Sunday. Lunch and brunch only on Sundays, but lunch is every other day. And then we're open for dinner Wednesday through Sunday as well.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're going to make something for us on the air today. So we're going to try to describe it with our words.
Yes, I absolutely will.
But people who are going to see the visual, they're going to enjoy this later.
Well, that's great. I didn't bring the bottles with me. I actually pre-mixed this cocktail because I'm making a perfect Manhattan. This is the drink that if you come into the bar and you say, well, I'm a whiskey drinker, I can't decide between the Manhattan or the old fashioned, I'm going to say the Manhattan every time. And I love Manhattans. I've loved them for a long time.
I don't know. You want to hold that up so people can see? So you just mixed
I just poured. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Don't worry.
All right,
I'll walk you through it.
Okay.
So this is a perfect Manhattan. So this is rye. This is sweet vermouth, and this is dry vermouth. And we use a sweet vermouth and a dry vermouth that are sipping quality. Most bars do not.
So sipping quality as opposed to what quality?
That it would just be mixed into the cocktail.
Okay, all right.
So most vermouths in commercial bars or corporate bars, restaurant bars, most people don't think that they're important components to a cocktail. Your average person doesn't usually look at them as important components to a cocktail. A lot of times now people will say, I want a martini, but I don't want any vermouth in it. So basically they're not really asking for a martini anymore.
Interesting.
So this is a perfect Manhattan. That means that it has equal parts of sweet and dry vermouth. A traditional Manhattan recipe is a derivative of this recipe.
Okay.
The traditional Manhattan that we all, if you go into a cocktail bar now and ask for Manhattan, you're going to get it on the rocks. You're going to get it with bourbon usually, or straight whiskey, or you're going to get it with sweet vermouth and bitters. A perfect Manhattan is equal parts, like I said, sweet and dry, rye, whiskey, and I omit the bitters in my Manhattan. People put bitters in a Manhattan because they don't want to taste the rye. And that's fine. I like to taste the rye. A lot of people use bourbon in a Manhattan because they say rye is too spicy. Rye has too much of a flavor. We don't want that. We just, want to taste the whiskey. I like to taste the rye. And I feel like the original mixologists who came up with these cocktails back in, the 1800s, they usually kind of knew what they were talking about if they got popular the way that they did.
Smelling orange here.
And I like a healthy spritz of the orange oil that's going to come off of the peel. And then we use Luxardo cherries at Stone Row. I think a lot of upscale cocktail bars are using Luxardo now, but it used to be really hard to find.
They're expensive. I mean, one jar is I think I was at a kitchen store. It was almost $30 for a jar of.
For those big ones, yeah, for sure. You can find smaller ones, but yeah.
For the sake of the visual, this is what it will look like.
Can you
you got that? All right.
So
I'm going to split it up between us. So I'm serving this in a coupe glass for our listeners with some Luxardo cherries on a stick.
What's a coupe glass?
It's this fancy martini glass we have here.
So, question. So, cherries are sweet. I'm so smart.
Yeah, you got it.
I'm so smart. But then some cocktails have an olive or something salty or savory in it. So, what's the point to those things hanging on the edge of the glass?
The garnishes are to bring out the natural flavors in the spirit.
Oh, thank you.
And if you are...
Matt.
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay.
You just take a little, just a little sip.
Should we, can we toast? Can we get this on the air here? We're going to do a toast. Thank you, Grace.
I'll drink the last little bit
Thanks,
in here.
Grace. Thank you.
Of course.
Oh, cheers one more time.
Did I do it?
I think so. There we go.
I always smell stuff before I drink it, so.
You definitely should.
The aromatics are so good with
I
this
smell
one.
the liquor, but I'm amazed. You only gave a little twist to the orange, and I can.
It's a lot.
The essence of it is so there. So, would you drink this alone, or would you drink it with your food?
This is a Manhattan would be something that you would drink to whet your appetite. Any type of martini type cocktail is designed to whet your appetite. Now that falls into a very specific category of cocktail. Then you have the sweet fun cocktails like daiquiris and margaritas and things like that. And those are usually meant to be drunk alone or with some snacks.
Tastes kind of earthy. Is it supposed to?
Yeah, that's the rye.
It's the rye.
Yep.
Okay. That's not a bad thing.
No.
Oh, I hope not.
Okay.
No. That's the rye.
Do you like this drink?
Oh, I love it. This is my favorite drink at Stone
It
Row,
is?
as well as Grace's. That's why she's doing a demonstration on it. It is probably one of our most elevated, popular and elevated.
Yeah.
Usually when people get these, they'll get two. Whenever I have guests get them at the restaurant, they say it's the best Manhattan they ever had. And when I first,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
oh yeah, when I first started selling these this past summer, when I started at Stone Row, I was a little taken aback by the fact that we were using a perfect Manhattan as our menu Manhattan. Usually that's a little ostracizing for some people because that dry vermouth looks very scary. People, like Grace said, usually just get that bourbon, sweet vermouth for almost like a sweeter drink. But this is it's got more going on almost. The rye whiskey adds a little bit of spice. The combination of a good sweet vermouth and a good dry vermouth just add more complexity and almost like a different body that doesn't have almost like that syrupy taste that a full pour of sweet vermouth would have. It's just an easy sipper. It's just relaxing.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
It kind of lingers.
It does.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I am not that's why you brought Camden, because he knows the language. I don't know so much, if anything, about the world of beverages and cocktails. So I appreciate what you have to say.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to say anything else about this Manhattan?
To echo Camden, this is one of those things where, people come in and they're like, all right, I'll get the Manhattan. And sometimes they'll say, well, I'm not sure about that dry vermouth in there. And can you just make me a traditional Manhattan? I would say most of the time I say, sure, no problem. And, that's what our staff will tell you. Yeah, absolutely. We'll make it however you want. But every once in a while, if I see that it's somebody who's interested in the cocktail and is interested, and you can usually gauge that with guests, I'll say, why don't you try it? Why don't you just try it our way and see what you think? I've never had a guest say, no, I don't like that. Take it back. Make me something else. Never. And I think, Camden, you can echo this too. And most of the time, they'll say, this is the best Manhattan I've ever had. How
Absolutely.
can I order this when I go someplace else? Yeah.
And you say you can't.
No, you can. You absolutely can. You can go into any bar and say, I'd like a perfect Manhattan.
Okay.
If you have a good bartender, they should be able to make a perfect Manhattan. Perfect Manhattan, no bitters.
Oh, no, no bitters. Okay.
No bitters, yep.
It's very tasty. It is, and it's, I mean, you can't guzzle it.
No, it's a sipper.
It's a sipper. So you just sit there, you enjoy that
Yeah.
as a prelude to
Maybe
what
have
you're
like a
gonna
little cheese board, some, snacks, something salty.
eat. What's your go-to when you make something for yourself?
When I'm at home, I have something very special here. So one of my bar regulars are the Langley Wallaces. Shout out to them. And they travel and they like to bring us back like special treats. And this is a Camerize. So this is basically sloe gin, but it's from Canada. So sloe gin is gin made with sloe berries. This is gin made with Haskap berries, which are native to Canada.
Okay, so spell the word slow for me.
SLOE.
Okay, because I misunderstood because I thought you were saying SLOW. So SLOE, I've not heard of that kind of berry. Like, I'm a baker. I've never gone in.
So that's native, right? That's native to England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's why.
I am using an egg white here. I'm gonna dry shake this. Actually, I might have Camden dry shake this.
I'll give a demonstration.
Because
Oh, yes.
he's a
Active
good,
duty.
yeah, he's a good shaker.
So egg white is going into the, what do you call the silver cup thingy?
This is just a cocktail shaker here.
Okay, and then you just poured in.
I poured in about 2 ounces of that liqueur, and then I'm gonna pour in about 1.5 ounces of lemon juice.
Wow, that's a good amount of lemon juice.
Yeah, it's not gonna be sweet.
Do you guys fresh squeeze?
We do.
Ooh, there we go.
Makes all the difference.
It really does.
We try to do as much fresh, homemade as possible. In fact, I think everything is sometimes needlessly so. And I think that's something that's really interesting about cocktail culture right now is that we can tend to get a little crazy about being mad scientists, but we want to make sure everything tastes good and that our guests enjoy it. So there are some times when it's okay to take a little shortcut.
Do you want me to-
Here you go, Cam.
All right, Camden's
right.
gonna
He's
do
gonna
a
dry
shake
shake
up.
that.
Go for it.
Get a little ASMR of this as well.
You have the right technique. We're all moving aside. Oh, and how long do you shake it? Like, is there a certain amount of time for certain things?
I personally go 8 to 10 seconds, but it can rely on your
Yep, it's
your
gonna
ice. It can rely on
Now he's
what
gonna
you're
wet
actually
shake.
shaking. This is the wet shake now.
All right, I'm moving.
Get out of the splash zone.
Shaking that
Oh yeah.
for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I always have a hard time with these Japanese shakers. You want to get that?
Yeah.
Is it done or no?
It should be done, yeah. Usually just like the 10. Woo,
Oh,
that's some ASMR for you.
Got it.
all over here.
That's okay.
Oh, and you're putting it through a
I
sieve?
am, just because we used egg whites.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's pretty pink.
That's beautiful.
I'll hold it up so everybody can see it. But
Well,
it's
I'm
a
gonna-
pretty pink, and it's got the liquidy on the bottom. Then you see the rocks, the
I'm
ice,
gonna put a little bit of tonic on that as well.
and it's also foamy.
It is foamy.
On
from the
top.
egg white.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, the egg white, right. And this is what that you're putting in there now?
A little Hosmer Mountain tonic.
Oh, shout out to Hosmer. We love that.
Oh.
You're using local stuff. And then you just...
We do.
Do you
And
let it
that's
sit?
it. That's it.
Do you
Now
let
you
it
drink
sit?
it.
And this is
This
the...
one I really can't. I won't be able to share it, so we're gonna have to sip out of the same glass.
Okay,
if
all
that's
right.
Okay.
All right. That's right. So this is the slow gin fizz. I'm
It's
gonna...
nice and light,
Let me
very
hold
delicate.
it up so y'all can see this thing. It's
Oh,
beautiful.
It's so good.
Yeah, this looks
I'm looking in the shaker to see if I made more, but I didn't.
very springy.
But this is what I would drink at home. This is my at-home cocktail.
Well, I have to have one more
Oh,
sip.
come on now. It's all right. Take your time.
And have the mustache. That is amazing.
Thanks.
Wow.
Let's see. This
Now
is the
that
first
goes
for
down
me
a
too.
little too easy.
It does. It is. That's why it's an at-home cocktail.
Masterfully done,
And you got
Grace.
foam all over your mustache.
And the
Camden.
mustache. Save
Do you
that
want
for
to try
later.
this, Matt? You're good?
I'm good with this one. Thank you.
All right. So here we are. I'm here with Camden Tedford Coles, And also Grace Spruance, who's the bar director at Stone Row on Main Street here in Willimantic. What if somebody walks in and says, surprise me? Like, does anyone ever do that?
Yes.
Oh, all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
So, like, what does that look like? Because I like surprises. So, how do you gauge what you choose
Oh,
for
I
somebody?
have a very specific way that I ask those questions. And I've actually taught our servers to do the same thing as well. We have this really cool button in our computer when servers are putting in an order. It's called the bartender's choice. So if you've got somebody who's like, I'm not feeling what's on the menu, I really like tequila, I really like spice, I really like this or that, and they can put all those flavor profiles in with the type of liqueur the person would like, and then I'll come up with something once I get that, or Camden, once we get that order at the bar. If someone comes in, and usually when people see me on a Thursday or a Wednesday night, they'll say, oh, you're here. I'm just feeling something. I had a customer who was a regular come in I'm just feeling something, I don't know, like maybe lightly fruity, not too sweet. I like vodka. And I made her basically this, but with like pomegranate and vodka. And she was really, really happy with it. I've made mudslides. Somebody said, I really just want a chocolate cocktail at the end of the night. I made him a mudslide, which we don't usually have all the components for, but I cobbled something together. Same thing. I had a gentleman come in and he saw that we had espresso martinis. He saw that we make our Baileys in-house and he was like, could you make me a chocolate martini? Like a mocha chocolate martini. I did. And it's just a question of pausing what you're doing, stopping to go find the ingredients and making it. So sometimes we can, if it's like a reasonably busy night. If we're running off our feet, we may not be able to accommodate you right in the moment, but we will try. We will do our best.
Wow, I like that. There was a restaurant, a local restaurant, that used to, I don't think they even have it on the menu anymore, but they called it the garbage omelet.
Ooh.
And it was basically whatever the chef threw in there. I mean, that was like my favorite, because I like variety.
Yeah.
The world of beverages, like we said, is a big world. And so if you guys want to try some of Grace's great libations and also see Camden, you can see them at Stone Row on Main Street here in Willimantic. Do you have any final closing comments y'all would like to make? I can leave it to y'all. I could keep drinking, but no.
Well, we're excited about the summer. We've got some things in the works.
Okay.
Keep your eye on our social media and definitely get on the email list at Stone Row, like our website. And you'll be first to know about all the exciting things we have coming up for the summer.
And your Instagram name is?
Mine is the Copper Top Bar.
Okay, so just keep that in mind, the Copper Top Bar. And you're on.
I am too. It's not as quirky as the Copper Top Bar, but it's just my name, Camden _ Coles _ I post some cocktails every now and then.
Okay, there you go.
But yeah, check us out.
Well, thank you guys for coming in. Thank you for giving us great things to drink. This is Ruth Hartunian Allenbaugh, otherwise known as Ravings and Cravings, signing off here on Good Company, WILI.